everybody and welcome on today's video. You see, I have a little piece of paper here because the 6th of March 2025 I made a little video and I was showing some of the fusion projects that I'm working on. It's about a pomegranate, field maple, privet, carpinus, hornbeam, ivy, a linden tree and a royal oak. So I have 7 trees that I'm going to follow up, and I started this a couple of months ago, so today is August, and I'll do a last video in the fall, so it's going to be early spring, midsummer and fall, and then we'll see how these trees evolve in a growing year of time, because in the winter nothing happens. So I'll show you the trees first of all in March, then you'll see them in August, which is right now, and then I'll finish this video in October, November, something like that. So I hope you enjoy that. For starters, this is a pomegranate which is starting to wake up. There's green all over the place here. It's a whole lot of little trees growing together, and some of these trees are starting to become the branches now. I have still a few openings here, gaps that are not closed, but okay, that will close in time. So I think that the front should be somewhere here. So we'll follow this up, of course. And here we have a field maple, well, lots of field maples, a little bit mounted up too high regarding the soil, but that's because I want to protect the roots. It's still, yeah, well, it's the beginning of spring, well, the end of the winter, I should say, and it still can freeze here, so I'm still protecting the roots a little, but under this substrate, like you can see here, is a rather impressive root base, and that's one of the most important things when you do fusion. You get fantastic root base. Yeah. And this is privet, all little cuttings from my hedge. They grow like crazy, these cuttings from privet. And you see it's planted on a foam trunk, which means that the trunk inside cannot rot. That's a problem with fusion. Don't use wooden frames in the middle. And yeah, well, everything is tied together with some wire. No, it's not wire, it's a tire, sorry. And it holds everything together, and then when all these things start to grow, they swell and then they fuse, and then you get a gigantic trunk, and you can already start shaping some branches, waiting that everything fuses, but it will fuse because it has no other place to go than touching each other. So yeah, privet. I think this is my biggest fusion project. It's a carpinus. It's been, well, going on for years now, and I must admit I messed up at some points, but okay. It's starting to look okay. I still have some spare little trees to include between gaps here, but that's something that I can do in the autumn or maybe next year in spring. But well, first of all, I'm going to let it grow again and see what works, what doesn't work. But I think that this is becoming a rather impressive tree, and once that everything is fused and closed, well, that's gonna be huge. Looks good, everything looks alive and growing, so I'm very happy about this one. Ivy grows vigorously, and well, the problem with ivy is it's difficult to get thick trunks. So just little ivy cuttings that have been growing for 1 or 2 years now along this foam trunk, and well, all you can do is just wait until they fatten and start to fuse, and you get a quite amazing ivy bonsai. That should be the front. Linden tree. Well, I don't have much to say. It's always the same principle, you know. Try to make things fuse and make them big and impressive. So that's always the same way to work. So these are oak trees, royal oak, Quercus robur, and in the middle you might see there's a little piece of foam here, and all these trees are growing around this piece of foam, and then once that I see that they grow well, grow strongly, I can put a skeleton, foam skeleton in the middle. I'll glue it, and then I'll guide all the trees around that, and they will make a quite impressive oak tree. But you see, that's how you start. So here we are a couple of months later, and this is the first one that I showed you. It's the pomegranate, and well, he has been growing a whole lot. What I'm going to do now is, well, it looks like it's completely filled, but it is not, and there's still a couple of spots where there is nothing. So I need to take a few cuttings of this, which is not difficult with pomegranate, and then let them grow, let them root, and then I can probably insert them in these blind spots where there's nothing growing. For the rest, well, where there's something growing, it looks really nice. We have really thick trunks already here, and in the autumn I will have to tie that together, and then we'll see what happens. So up to the next tree now. The next one is this big field maple, and well, some things went really well with this tree. A couple did a little less. I have a little dead tree here, but that's not a big deal. There's even something green here, and so maybe it's not completely dead. But okay, a few things were really good. I'll bring the camera in to show you some parts that have been fusing now, and yeah. This tree will probably be repotted in the fall from this year, and I made a pot, but yeah, if I do it, you will see the pot. Okay, so let's come a little closer. So the top of this tree is completely fused. I showed you that before, but now the base is also starting to fuse, like you can see here. This is completely fused. We have fusion here, so it means that when this tree keeps on growing like it's doing right now, this base will become gigantic, and as you can probably see, the root base will be absolutely stunning. So this is the little dead tree I told you about, and here we have little green spots. So that should, well, that could be the savior of this little tree, so I'm not touching that. On the other hand, I have a little one here that is doing okay, so that could be really what I need to close that little gap. But these are small details. You see, when you let these things grow, well, eventually they will fuse. So next year I'm going to start to work on the top of this tree and try to make a big crown like that, starting from well, like some guidelines say, 1/3 of the trunk will be bare, will not have really big branches, except maybe for this branch that I can keep, which I probably will wire. It's still flexible, so and then yeah, I'll build the crown. So here we have the little privet. It's been pruned 3 times already this year, and I'm starting to build pads, as you can see, slowly but surely. Of course you cannot see the trunk because there's too much small things going on, and I'm leaving these. All these little things are technically sacrificed branches that will thicken up the trunks. Now between the gaps I put some moss, because these privets, as you know, they root really easily. So now all these little trees are forming roots straight down to the soil here, and that means that these are also filling up empty spaces. So once that this tree lost its leaves, I can probably reduce everything and start to expose the basic structure. So that's going to be something for, I don't know, October, November, something like that. But it's doing okay. Some weeds that I need to remove, but weeds needs removal all the time, so yeah. And here we have the big Carpinus, which is well, it's starting to get complicated to know what's going where. I think that most of the things are growing well, but I'll see that when I have a better view on this, when the leaves have dropped, so that's going to be fall again. I think that most of the trees are doing very well. Don't think I have any dead ones. Maybe this one, I'm not completely sure, but it's difficult to follow it up. But anyway, that doesn't matter, because Carpinus that grows like crazy here. We have seeds everywhere. It's not difficult to root them, and then you have spare ones that you can include. So once that this one is free of leaves, I can work on this a little better, maybe do some wiring. Because of course when you do fusion you always work with small twigs that you can bundle and then bend the way you want them. Another thing that I wanted to say is that this tree will get another pot, and that's of course the good occasion to put new trees in. It has been pruned, I think 5-6 times. You see, you get new shoots, then you cut them back like this, and that ramifies the whole tree. And then in the autumn you choose when which ones you want to keep, because now it is, well, I don't understand anything of this tree at this very moment, but it will be clear in a couple of months. So next one. So here we have the little ivy growing on a foam trunk. It had a lot of growth here, still has, and a few little things on the sides, because you know, ivy, it is, well, it is a vine. It wants to grow long and not thick, so that's why you don't see a whole lot of good ivy bonsai. Again, this Irish moss. Yeah, well, okay. So what I did was remove some of the growth here, so that these branches can grow a little better. And all the things that I removed here are now cuttings. As you see, I lost a few trees here, which is not a big problem. I'm just going to let this grow now for a year. And when the next repot, I will have cuttings from here that I can include in the biggest gaps, and then just let the thing grow again. So still no fusion, but of course this is started, well, not long ago, so I think it's okay. So this is the linden, grew well. These are not the best fusers, I noticed, but okay. I put a little piece of galvanized iron wire here, so that does not rust, and well, the tree will grow over it, and then everything will be held together, of course. And I have that here, I have another one here, I have another one there. So I guess this is going to work, but it's going to take probably one more year. The good thing is that the tree is well rooted in the pot, so that I don't have to worry about little trees dying. So these are new shoots that I planted. It's air layer. So this one is going in the ground, and then it's going to fill this spot here. So this is the back of the tree. Not great, but it's gonna be all right. So that's the linden. Sunburn. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? It's August. So this is the last of the trees that we are following up. It's the oak project. There's still a 2 millimeter to 1 centimeter gap between the little trees, but yeah, okay, they have to grow. They are well rooted now, and as you know, when you plant them, you try to make the roots go in the right direction, so the root base will probably excuse me, be okay. So still the advantages of fusion, if you want to bend a trunk from an oak thick like this, well, you forget it. But let's pretend that I want to do this, and that I want to do this, and that I want to do this. Well, it is possible, and then I'll have a incredible oak with fantastic taper, with a nice movement, and that's exactly what you want as a start for your tree. So, okay, we'll follow this up in the fall, when we all have raincoats and when the trees are bare. So see you in a couple of seconds probably, and it's gonna be a couple of months for me. So be right back. So now it is the end of October, the really end of October, and I'm going to show the trees like they are now. Some have been wired, repotted, glued, something that I tried from, well, a couple of months ago, I think. Well, I will see if it works fine. I'll let you know. So here are the trees. So this is the pomegranate repotted and glued together. You can also see some of the wires that are still holding it in position. Well, these wires need to be removed at the end of the winter, so I don't have any biting in, but I think it's looking kind of nice. There's a few hollows here still. I have some spares that I can plant in this, but they're not thick enough yet, so yeah. So you see lots of wiring, guy wires, etc. But looking good, and well, honestly, I think for a pomegranate this hollow is kind of fun. So this is the field maple in a concrete pot that I made a couple of months ago, all wired up, all glued up, etc, etc. So looks kinda nice, kinda healthy. And of course now I think from next growing season on I can start building a crown here. So I always contained the top, because otherwise it becomes way too heavy. So now the crown will start evolving from here. And here we have the privets all cleaned up, wired. There's still a few wires that I should remove. I planted a piece of privet in the soil to make to show where the front was, and of course it grew. So this is not part of the tree. But yeah, I think slowly but surely this is becoming something fun to watch. Also, like the others, wired and glued. So for the Carpinus I had to put the camera a little bit further, because as you see it's quite a tall tree, and now it's still well, glued and wired and everything, but now you see it's still very triangular, and that's absolutely not the purpose for this tree. But I need to keep the top short, because otherwise it becomes very heavy, and when your bottom branches are ready, then your top will be too heavy. So in the begin phase you have to be rather sparse here and let these thicken up. And now I think, if everything goes well, that I need to make this more roundish, because it's a deciduous tree. It's going to be much better for this tree. Give you 360. That's it. Big tree. This is the ivy, which is a whole lot smaller. I also started it rather late, and you see still a whole lot of gaps, but with ivy it's not a big deal. going to let this grow this year, and while it's growing I'm going to take a whole lot of cuttings, and they root really easily, so probably next year I will be able to add a few more cuttings on this trunk, and it's gonna be much better then. But already you can see that now it is possible to position some branching, which is fun. This is the linden, doing quite nicely, I think. Also a couple of wires. I have to add maybe a few more wires around some branches. We still have the two branches here in the back that are air layering, and I think that it's gonna work because, well, it's not too difficult to do that with linden trees. And so that's what we have now. So I guess next year it's gonna look better. But I think that it already has a nice shape. Now I have to do a bud selection, remove all the terminal buds. That's important on a linden because otherwise they won't ramify. So I think we're in that stage now. So I'm also showing this oak real quickly because, well, he's been followed in the last months in this video, but there is a whole video on how this tree was made just a couple of weeks ago. So, well, that's it didn't change at all. So that's it. So that's it for today. 7 times fusion in a couple of months. Hope you liked it. Thank you for watching and see you next time.